Boop, boop, doop, 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 boop. All right. Safety is more than just calmness. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people do as they're trying to heal their chronic pain, their chronic illness using a mind-body approach is they try to force calmness. Forcing calmness is not going to help you heal. Now, yes, when we understand approaches like pain reprocessing therapy, what we're trying to do is change the emotional response to our pain or physical symptoms and overall create more calmness. Now, that is a goal. Don't get me wrong. I want you to learn to respond to your symptoms with lightness and ease. That's what somatic tracking is doing, or somatic embodiment practices that I utilize with my clients. I'll link a somatic embodiment practice for chronic pain, chronic symptoms up to the top and down below, so you can check that out. And in that approach, we're trying to change the emotional response, the nervous system response to our pain and symptoms. But something that gets lost in translation is then people are trying to always force themselves to be calm. When I was first healing, I did this. I did yoga, qigong, breath work, all practices that are very useful, but I was doing them as a way to try to always force myself to be at ease, to be light, and to be calm. And that's not the point of those practices. Somatic movement, breath work, the point of those is to give you the ability to attend to nervous system dysregulation, or attend to difficult emotions, or attend to pain and symptoms. We're using these things not just to create calmness, but to actually help us get more access to feeling safe with unpleasant things inside. And what happened for me is I've tried to force calmness. What took place is I became more dysregulated. Eventually, I just froze and shut down as I was first healing. And that was a sign for me like, hey, this is not the right approach. This is not what's going to work for me. And I get it. As human beings, you're a human being, I'm a human being. What we do is we want to move towards what's pleasant and we want to avoid anything that's unpleasant. But if we use calmness as an avoidance strategy, it's going to escalate all the dysregulation you feel inside. Whether this is a flight, fight, freeze, or shutdown response, things like sadness, anger, fear, guilt, shame, they're all going to start to escalate the more you try to force yourself to be calm. Physiologically, your nervous system, it wasn't meant to always be calm. Now, yes, again, we want to give you more access to that state. We call it the ventral vagal system, which really can be classified as safety and connection. But the ventral vagal system is more than just calmness. So when I talk about creating safety, yes, it can include calmness, but we also want to feel safe when we're not calm, because physiologically, you're not always going to be calm. So we need to learn to feel safe with things that are unpleasant inside. And when I explain safety to people, I mean connection. It is the ability to touch in, to connect with dysregulation in your nervous system, to connect with difficult emotions, and to connect with pain or physical symptoms. And we want to connect with a gentleness, an ease, a lightness. We want to connect with compassion, care, and curiosity. That connection is what actually is going to help you feel safe with things that are unpleasant within. And that's what we're going for. So yes, every day I do qigong, I do some breath work, and I am trying to give myself more access to a state of calmness, but I'm using those techniques to be able to touch in and connect with things that are unpleasant. Now, one thing that I find with people that are YouTubers or people that are doing podcasts is sometimes the listeners think, oh, that person has it all together. Tanner has it all together. I don't all the time. I'm human. I'm more regulated than I was a decade ago when I was in chronic pain, and that's partly how I healed, but I still get dysregulated sometimes. For example, yesterday, this is a great example. of exactly what a day can look like. I woke up and I felt nervous. Oh, I didn't feel good. I felt nervous. I felt some sadness going on. There was some anxious energy. And this is due to a number of things. My bathroom flooded last week, so we're dealing with that, which is a stressor. I have some family stressors leading up to the holidays. I have some stressors taking place just in my family and getting everything ready and having a busy life with running 2 companies and 2 kids. And my response, and I do this for a living, my response was thinking in my mind, okay, how can I get myself to a calm state? And I did that for probably 20 minutes, and I can tell you everything worsened. I felt more nervous. I felt more sad. And so, I'm human. I want to avoid what feels unpleasant, even though I teach this for a living. Now, luckily, after 20 minutes, I realized oh yeah, the point isn't calmness. I need to allow myself to feel this and to feel safe with it, to touch in, to connect. And I did some breath work as I utilized it. I did a little bit of somatic movement that I teach on this channel. And I was able to attend with a gentleness and a kindness and a compassion to the nervousness and the sadness I was feeling. And it didn't go away right away. I didn't use it to make it go away. That wasn't the point. I just wanted to create safety with the nervous system dysregulation and with the emotions. And by doing that, I can't tell you my ability to embody and be with those sensations and how oddly good that felt. I felt a great amount of safety with the sensations. Now, last week I talked about, ways to shift from fear to safety. And, I don't want that to be misinterpreted. What I explained in that video is all these different safety signals, 8 different safety signals you can utilize to create safety and to create calmness. And there was also a somatic practice. I'll link that to the top and down below if you haven't checked that out. But I used all those safety signals to feel safe with the sadness and with the nervous energy that was taking place. And later in the day, by the time 4 or 5 o'clock came around, I was feeling good again. I was feeling calm. I was feeling at ease. I was feeling very, very regulated overall and quite safe. I was able to play around with my kids. My son's doing a play soon, so I helped him practice that. I was able to stay calm and at ease even while there was all this dysregulation going on with my kids, which is normal. But that, I don't want that to be misconstrued. The way I got to calmness, the way I got to feeling great again was by wading in and connecting with the nervousness and the sadness. And that's what it means to feel regulated. It's messy. Being regulated, feeling safe, again, is not just calmness. It's being able to feel the full spectrum of emotions, to feel dysregulated sometimes, like fight, flight, freeze, shutdown, that energy, but it didn't shift out of it. And the way I did that is I was able to connect. And so if you're doing all the strategies on my channel, trying to force calmness, and it's not going well, your pain or symptoms aren't shifting or changing, it may be because you've misunderstood that calmness is safety, but connection is safety. That's what we're going for. And by connecting, by allowing yourself to be a full human being, you can overcome your chronic pain and chronic symptoms. This is why some of the work by Dr. Schubiner and Dr. Lumley, where it's emotional awareness and expression. They help people touch into their emotions, feel their emotions, move through them. And by doing that, they've shown in research that people's chronic pain symptoms will actually start to reduce. And so on this channel, I have a few practices I want to explain that I want you to go and try out. There's a little bit of somatic movement in them. If you're not at a place you can do somatic movement yet while you do these practices, just visualize that part. But we're trying to gain connection. There's one for anxiety that I did a few months ago. I'll link it to the top and down below. Learning to connect with your anxiety, to allow it to take place. The starting place for healing, Whether you're talking anxiety, whether you're talking dysregulation, emotions, attending to chronic pain and symptoms, the starting place is accepting and allowing. And as long as they're not too intense, accepting and allowing them to take place. There's this radical acceptance where I didn't approve of it. Acceptance is an approval. I didn't approve of feeling nervous and sad that day, yesterday, but there was a radical acceptance that this is where I'm at, and I allowed it to take place. Now, if they're too intense, you can still use avoidance, strategic avoidance. Try to focus on a safety signal, because that's not a great strategy if you're having a panic attack. But within the window that you can tolerate sitting with it, I want people to learn to sit with it. That's the idea. So that anxiety practice can help you do that. I also have a sadness practice that's from my digital course, the Somatic Safety Method. I'll link it to the top and down below. It'll help you learn how to attend to sadness, to be with sadness. The somatic movements that are in that practice is exactly what I did yesterday. I went up to my bedroom, turned the lights off, and did some of the somatic movement. I approached the sadness. I accepted it. I allowed it to take place, and I allowed myself to connect and feel safe with it. And so somatic movement can be really helpful for this. Again, check that practice out. So again, calmness is not safety. Connection is safety. I know I've said this like 3 times. Just remember that. We need to be allowed to be a full human being, to have dysregulated responses, to feel great, hard emotions and wade into them, connect with them, and learn to move through them. And by doing this, you can actually heal your chronic pain and symptoms. Now, I have lots of free content on this channel that can help you do this. I've shared some videos. If you're struggling with this, my agencies could be helpful. I have my agency Embody Community. It offers the digital course, the Somatic Safety Method. Somatic Safety Method maps out a healing for you. It gives you a full buffet of strategies, techniques, education that can help you do that. For example, there's 15 emotional practices in there. There's practices for the nervous system, different nervous system states. There's a whole lot in there that can help you heal your chronic pain and chronic symptoms. And if you're in certain provinces in Canada, my agency, there's how many of us are there? There's 8 therapists at my agency that I oversee and supervise to make sure we're offering a great service. That service is specialized. We're able to work with people in certain provinces in Canada only. So just be aware. I'm sorry if you're in different parts of the world. It's just due to regulations. But we offer a very detailed approach to support people healing their chronic pain or chronic symptoms. So I hope this video was helpful. Please put your questions or comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.